Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Nkenna. I am responsible for everything that goes on here. As you guys can tell from the title of today's video, we're gonna be talking about tips for clinical. So since I've started nursing school, I've gone through 3 rounds of clinicals, 1 for fundamentals, 1 for mental health, and 1 for med surg. So I'll be sure to detail that in a separate video if you guys wanna check out and see what each clinical experience was like. But today I'm just gonna give you guys some general overall tips that you can apply across the board. So tip number 1 would be to keep a clinical bag inside of your car. So this clinical bag should contain all the supplies that you need, whether that's your name tag, your university supplied name tag, or if you have one for each hospital, then you can wear that. And I know when I was working in the hospital for one of my clinicals, I had to wear my university supplied name tag as well as the ID badge provided by the hospital that allowed me access to different floors and different places throughout the hospital. This could be a notepad for taking notes, pens, snacks, pen light, all of these things, whether it's reference cards, whatever it may be that you might need for clinical, put it in that bag. And then I just keep it in my back seat. So I never take it out of the car. It never goes anywhere. So I'm always prepared. All I do when I leave in the morning, I get dressed, make sure that I have everything on, clean, compression socks, clean uniform, a jacket in case I get cold, and I head out the door. And then once I get in the car, I know that everything that I need is back there. Tip number 2 would be to arrive early. Arrive early just to account for any type of traffic changes. One running joke comment that we have at our university is, this is Atlanta, so using the excuse of Atlanta traffic is not an excuse because everybody knows we've lived here, you've had time to adjust. Arriving early, you can account for any accidents, anything that might happen. Tip number 3 would be to pack a lunch, bring a snack, and eat breakfast. I cannot tell you how many times first semester of nursing school during fundamentals clinic in a nursing home, I would not eat breakfast and would feel like I was going to collapse. Do not be like me, eat breakfast, bring snacks, bring granola bars, whatever it might be that helps you get through the day. And also pack a lunch because hospital food is expensive. You don't want to spend all of your money that you're making as a student in the cafeteria at the hospital. Tip number 4 would be to bring PowerPoints and study material with you. I know when I had mental health clinical this semester, it was mainly observation. We didn't really get to interact too much with the patients. We had to talk to them, but we weren't allowed to pass meds. We weren't allowed to go into their rooms. If somebody was like actively going through psychosis, then we had to do buddy system or we would just go off the unit. So a lot of those days, then I would end up having PowerPoints for mental health or PowerPoints for med surg, and we would just sit in a conference room and wait until everything was all clear on the floor before we could go back out there. But I used that time to look at material prep for tests because to sit somewhere for 6 hours and not be able to do anything, not have your phone out, that's precious study time. And in nursing school, the last thing that you want to do is waste your valuable study time. Tip number 5 would be to not use your phone. It's just generally not a good look. Whether you're using it to reference and look up medications, people may not see it as that. They might think that you're looking at social media at first glance. It just doesn't look professional, and you should see clinical as a job interview. So you never want to have your phone out unless your instructor approves you to do so or if you're on a break. And if you are going to have your phone out, go into the break room. Tip number 6 would be to always ask questions. Asking questions shows that you're engaged, you're really a student, you're absorbing everything that's going on, you're being a true sponge, and you just really want to learn more. I learned from asking questions, then whoever I'm placed with, my preceptor for the day, they really like that and they will take me to go see really cool things. They'll say, hey, do you want to come see this? Or they'll tell me, once I ask a question like, hey, why are we giving this medication? Or hey, what happened with this person? What was your chief complaint? Just asking any variety of questions about the patient. Then once I start to engage, then they'll say, okay, we're doing this because of this, rather than you just following them around all day in silence. Tip number 7, this is a new one to me, but my clinical adjunct told us this semester that we should give a gift to the unit at the end of our clinical rotation. And then in turn, we ended up giving our clinical instructor a gift at the end of the semester. They don't have to accept students. They don't get paid extra for taking on nursing students. So it's just a token of your appreciation, whether it be donuts and coffee or just a little nice handwritten note, and everybody pitches in for something. Tip number 8 would be to wear compression stockings. Those are long days, long shifts. If you've ever had a job where you've had to stand up for many hours, it's going to be a shock to you. Your low back's going to be hurting, your legs are going to be hurting and tingling. So I definitely recommend getting some compression socks. I was one of those people who was like, I don't need compression socks, but once I got them and saw how much of a game changer they were, I swore by them. I tell everybody to get some. I in fact want more pairs for when I'm at work, when I'm at clinical. I want separate pairs just so that I'm never waiting on one pair to wash in the washing machine. And why wouldn't you get them? We don't want any DVTs. Tip number 9 would be to take good notes on everything. You want to chart everything because if you didn't chart it, it didn't happen. And then the final tip would be to always find the good. It's no secret that sometimes your clinical clinical placement might not be ideal. However, you always want to find the silver lining within that. And I know that might sound really cheesy, but I will give personal examples. My first semester, I was in a nursing home. I didn't like it. We didn't have any of the fancy Dynamat machines that take the information and send it directly to Epic or whatever charting system you might use. We didn't have that. So we had to do a lot of manual blood pressures. And even though I knew that I was good at blood pressures and I knew from a previous patient care tech job that we never did manual blood pressures, I am bomb at taking some manual blood pressures. So the good in the nursing home situation was that I'm really good at blood pressures now, and I probably wouldn't have gotten that experience had I not had clinical there. So that's all that I have for you guys. I really hope that you guys found this helpful. If you did, give this a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely leave them down in the comment box below. You guys can always find me on Instagram. That's usually where I'm gonna be. And yeah, that is all that I have for you guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.